How's it going, everybody? As you can see, I've got my Ranger 22 here. I've shown this in previous videos. It's an extremely accurate 22. I can hit 7.62 by 5.4R casings at 30 yards with this. No problem. It's dead on accurate, but I got some questions about its accuracy at a little further out, because I did show that I can hit a pop can, just a normal Coke can at 100 yards very easily, usually in the first shot. And some people were asking a little further out. Now, I've never done this, so I have no idea what the results are going to be. But as you can see, I have a couple of targets set out there. Now, I've gone ahead and repositioned the camera a little bit to give you a clearer view. Out at, let me pull it back, out at 50 yards, I have 2 bottles there. Now I'm going to shoot the caps off of those at 50 yards. At almost 100 yards, it's about 85 to 90. I just pasted it off. 90 yards probably, I'm going to pop those 2 cans. Give you just an indication of how far out that is. And way out at about a little over 200 yards, I've got a target so that we can just get a pattern to see if I can actually hit the target. I've never gone out that far with 22 long rifles, so we'll see what happens. But this is just a little video on the capabilities of a 22 long rifle with iron sights. Now, I don't have a scope on any of my guns except for my Browning T-Bolt. I own a lot of 22s, but I just think that peep sights are a whole lot more fun. They're more challenging. You really have to know what you're doing to hit stuff at long range with a peep sight, and I just enjoy it more. But it also puts a little more into it. As I said, it's a little more challenging. People get bored with 22 long rifles sometimes. They think it's a kid's gun, or it's simply a training aid, such as people who take an AR-15 and convert it over 22 long rifle simply to shoot cheaply. I shoot 22 long rifle for the sake of shooting 22 long rifle. I enjoy it. Farmer out there, and I think it's an undervalued cartridge. People sometimes shoot it simply because it's cheap. I've ran into people who don't think they're all that accurate. They just think it's, a fun kids round, something to train with for cheap, and I simply don't agree. And I'm going to show that now, so let's get started. Alright, let's start with the Coke bottle at 50 yards. Now for the Gatorade. There we go. There's a Gatorade bottle at 50 yards. Alright, that's as zoomed in as I can get the camera, so let's just go ahead and give it a shot. It's really hard to see those things out that far, even with them being bright red. Also, the 22 drops quite a bit, so you have to kind of compensate. Alright, now I'll go ahead and give you a little better idea of what I'm looking at when I'm shooting out that far. I'm going to put a couple rounds at the target at 90 yards, hit a Coke can, and then fling a few more rounds out at that 200-yard target. Coke can. just to show you how low those shots are hitting. See, down here is without compensation, and when I compensate, go right there. So that's at 90 yards. There's a quick view of just how far out those targets are, and I'm going to pan over to me because it'd be pretty much useless for you to be looking out there for that last target, so you can just look at me while I try to hit it. I forgot to look at what the drop actually is for 200 yards because I didn't really anticipate doing this video today because it was a little windy this morning. There's no way I was doing it with any wind, so we'll just see how it does at 200 yards. Like I said, I've never had it out that far. I'm going to 150 and hit cans, but that usually takes quite a few shots. Okay, I'm going to be honest here. This is the target at 200 yards, and I don't know what I'm looking at here because I don't know if it's coming up in the camera, but they're like, it looks like I got hits, but they're more like shrapnel. They're not uniform holes.